Ba-dum. You already know what it is. Championship Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching World of Matchups, NFL Handicapping Podcast, coming to you guys live and direct from the handicapping capital of the world in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Dexter Reed. I am your host with the most. And on the other side, my A1 from day one and producer of WOM. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Spencer the Wiz. What up?
Wow, this has been such a good playoffs. I mean, you couldn't really have written the championship round better. You got a divisional matchup. That almost never happens. And then you had the matchup that everybody in the world wants to see. So it's really worked out. I mean, the Chiefs got a really great schedule going there. And yeah, there's just so much to talk about, man. Especially going into last week. I have a lot to say when it comes to these games today.
Yeah, it's going to be a good breakdown. It's going to be a great weekend of football. Last week was a tough week, man. I'm telling you, man, these half points,
woo,
these safeties for no reason to break. I mean, the pushes. I mean, I went 0-3-1 last week, and I could have easily been 2-2. Yeah, it's just horrible, man. But you know, that's handicapping. That's the game of chess that's happening on the football field, especially when you think you have it in your clutches, and then all of a sudden, one play happens, and you're a loser. One play. But that is the game that we love to talk about and love to watch so much. What's your biggest takeaway from last week before we break down the AFC Championship?
I think it's worth talking about that Ravens game. And I know there's no denying, right? Mark Andrews should have caught that ball. But the amount of flack that he received, how are we not going to talk about what Lamar Jackson did in that game? Two awful turnovers. I mean, game-altering turnovers. It feels more intense, you know, just because it was the last play of the game, essentially. But let's be real. That was like an awful, awful fumble. And that interception was just floated back there. I heard someone online say, oh, well, Rashad Bateman ran the wrong route. I'm like,
doesn't matter. That ball would have been picked.
The best scenario is like it was a contested catch for the DB. He just lofted it up there and right at midfield, too. I mean, those things are the only reason why they were in such desperation mode at the end of that game. So that was just not a great performance from Lamar Jackson. Not a great performance from anybody in the Ravens. And, yeah, I mean, the Bills were at home, and it just felt like right. But the Ravens have a lot of figuring out to do, honestly. It just seems kind of strange, the organization.
I think it's time for us to really take a look at the fact that, you know, Harbaugh has not done well in the last two postseasons. And I'm not so sure he's a great postseason coach. I know he's got a ring, but, like, how long are we going to live off this ring? And as long as I've known you, you and I have been saying this about Lamar Jackson, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. The guy is not a winner. He is Mike Trout of the NFL. He is nothing but stats. MVPs, I'm all about it. He is a great athlete. I do not think he is a playoff championship winning quarterback, and I don't think he's ever going to win a ring with the Baltimore Ravens. And you can throw Mark Andrews under the bus all you want. The game was lost when we decided that we're going to bring Derrick Henry to Baltimore and then only run him 16 times in the championship game. I don't care what the game script is. That's your best chance of winning. The game was lost when Lamar closed his eyes and threw a ball up in the air. The game was lost when Lamar put the ball on the ground. Guys, this was lost way before Mark Andrews. And now you're turning your backs on him and sending him hate mail and death threats. His girlfriend has to shut down her social media. You mark my words. Mark Andrews will be on the Los Angeles Chargers next year, and I can't wait for it. As far as my biggest takeaway from last week is what I saw on the field in Detroit was an absolute massacre. It was absolutely deplorable. And to me, this is why the Detroit Lions will forever lament not going for those 3 points last year in San Francisco. They will forever lament that. And I don't care how much you love Dan Campbell, and I don't care how much you love the Dan Campbell philosophy. We go for it on fourth down, and I don't care how high the percentage is. You may not get back. I don't care how loaded your team is. You may not get back. Now you lose your OC. Now you lose your DC. These guys are out the door before the game's over. They're literally signing contracts on the sideline. It was an absolute disgrace. And I feel bad for Detroit Lions fans. I really, really do. Because to me, that was the closest you're going to get to seeing a Super Bowl here anytime soon, man. The Commanders are on the come up. The Eagles are going to be good. I mean, what do you think is happening here?
They
You think
got lied to. I feel like the fans got lied
they
to.
got totally played. They got
You talk
totally
about that
played,
coaching
man.
staff. I mean, the reports came out right after the game. Right, Ben Johnson signs like 3 days after that game.
Dude,
So
three minutes.
the deal
3
was in
minutes.
place, and then it's like the reports came out. He's bringing Dennis Allen as his DC. I'm like,
Bro.
when was he doing all of this? Right?
Exactly.
Aren't they going on a playoff run?
Exactly.
Like, shouldn't he be like, oh, he signs and then he's ready to start looking for his coaches?
You shouldn't be allowed to talk to these coaches in game.
His Uber was waiting outside. He was paying a fee for the waiting.
His bags
fee for
were
the
already
Uber.
packed. His wife had already packed the house. I'm sick of this nonsense.
Crazy,
if a
man.
Coach is still in contention in the playoffs of winning games, you should not be able to talk to them.
And they were just doing whatever, man. That was not a playbook
they
for a playoff
walked
game, man.
all over Detroit. Now, granted, I'm willing to give their defense a pass because they are so injured. You know what I mean? Heavily injured, lose one of their best and only last defenders left on the field. But in your building, in the biggest game in Detroit history, you give up 48 points to a team with basically an aging veteran at tight end, a rookie quarterback, and one alpha wide receiver. Absolutely shameful. And you lost everyone money. My God, Detroit. Fall back and get yourself together. I hope you really find a way to come back from this because as far as I'm concerned, that performance was enough to make it so that another car is never built in Detroit ever again. Let's set it off with Kansas City, Buffalo. I'll let you spit first.
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is what everybody wants to see. This is Josh Allen's redemption game. I mean, it was just weird to say, right? The last playoff game, he was insane. He had an incredible game. And they just lost because he couldn't be on the defensive side of the ball, right? That's pretty much what it came down to. Man, I mean, it feels to me like the Bills are a team of destiny. So this is going to be an incredible, game to watch. Obviously, it's the night game, 3:30. Everyone's going to just be so pumped. It's going to be freezing. Both sides are just going to want to kill each other. I mean, I don't really know what there is to say on either side. I mean, both teams are built very similarly. Now, the defensive edge does go to the Chiefs, obviously, but when it comes to just it's a team effort, you got guys all over the place who can make plays. You got good running backs, just solid wide receivers from top to bottom. I just feel, and this really just comes down to a gut feeling, I feel much stronger about the other game. These two teams have so much history and is so back and forth. It's going to be a coin flip, right? It's going to come down to just a couple of plays. But when I think back to that drop Stephon Diggs play, I don't see that happening again because they don't have the pressure of trying to force the ball to a guy who's going to disappoint the team. I mean, all of these guys on the Buffalo Bills are ready to make a play whenever. And I feel like that extra play that they need is just going to happen this year. I know it's so hard to bet against the Chiefs, but this just, I don't know, Josh Allen, like you don't hear anything from the guy. It's like he doesn't exist. Like he literally just morphs into existence when it's time to play football. I mean, I'm sure he's doing interviews. It's just you don't hear a lot from him. It just seems like he's like in this Zen mode. He sleeps in the stadium, he only leaves to go eat food or something and he goes right back. I don't know. There's just something very mystic about the guy right now. And I think he's just going to be so ready to play in this game. And I just don't think it feels like the same thing last week where he's just not going to leave the field. He'll do voodoo magic on the sidelines like Snape in the Harry Potter series during that Quidditch game. If it means that the ball gets tipped a weird way or a guy drops the ball, whatever he needs to do, he's going to will this team to a victory. It's a tough ask to do in Kansas City, but if there's a quarterback in the NFL that I feel like can do it and has the talent to do it, it's Josh Allen. I mean, this is going to be a field goal game pretty much either way, right? Overtime, maybe last second field goal, something like that. We'll have to see what happens, but I definitely feel like the Buffalo Bills, that's what my gut's telling me, are going to win this game or find a way to do it.
I feel very confident the other way. This game very much reminds me of Burrowhead. Chiefs been quiet all week, just like Burrowhead. Bills talking all week, just like the Bengals did. Guys, this is what I know. When you have a game that's so closely matched versus two teams that are evenly matched their last 10 games, equal points, equal wins, I'm taking the team at home with the MVP. And the MVP every year is Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what any of you guys say about these stats. He is the most valuable player. If you take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs have 3 wins. In his building, off a bye, off rest, off playing a team that they did not play well. Dude, I wish I could be a fly on the wall and practice in Kansas City this week. They must be asking themselves, why did we bring D-Hop here? Why did we bring Hollywood here? We haven't used these guys. You're going to see the playbook wide open, guys. And let's be honest, man. This is Andy Reid. Andy Reid knows how to show his hands and not show his hands. And what you're going to see this week is not anything that you've seen yet. There's going to be no tape on what you're going to see this week. I think that the biggest concern for Kansas City is that line. And if they can give Patrick Mahomes any kind of time, just quick hitters, slants, the Chiefs will find a way to win this game. The Chiefs have better special teams. The Chiefs have a better defense. And the Chiefs are at home. Now, I like what the Bills have done this year. I was wrong about them. They have stopped allowing Allen to play hero ball. They have cut the fat and got rid of Stephon Diggs and replaced him kind of like Kansas City Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill. It has all worked out. And there's a lot of starters on both sides of the ball that did not play in that week. I think it was week 11 game where the Bills won 30-21. Matt Milano is back. He's well rested. You're going to have guys on the Chiefs side of the ball who are back. Jalen Watson is back. There's a couple guys who are on IR who are going to be back. This is a very evenly, set up matchup for both teams. And I do think the winner of this game is winning the Super Bowl. I really do. I think this is the Super Bowl, period, honestly. I think this game you're watching this week is going to be better than any game we have seen this year. That's why it's the second game all of America is going to be watching, and Arrowhead's going to be rocking, folks. Guys, this is what Kansas City does. And I have said this. Go back and look at any videos we've made in the playoffs about the Kansas City Chiefs. Outside of one game where I was stupid and picked against them, I have ridden with them to the end, and I'm not about to stop now. If the Titanic sinks, I'm sinking with it. If I'm losing my money, I'm losing it on Patrick Mahomes. I will lose my money with Patrick Mahomes all day versus betting on Josh Allen and the Bills, who have never done anything. Let's be honest. And then watching Patrick Mahomes engineer another late fourth quarter drive and kick another field goal by Harrison Butker to send them to the Super Bowl. Guys, all the pressure is on the Bills. All of it. Guys, if the Bills beat the Chiefs and end the dynasty, so to speak, dude, Patrick Mahomes still has 3 Super Bowls. He still has 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He's still got 2 regular season MVPs, and he's still the face of the league. We got beat. Dynasties come to an end. It has happened with the 8 other back-to-back Super Bowl winners, right? But if Josh Allen loses this game, let's think about this for a second. Okay? Even Lamar has 2 MVPs. There's some hardware there. Dude, what accolades does Josh Allen have? He's got no Super Bowl rings. He's got no Super Bowl appearances. He's got no MVPs. I mean, even Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead and went to a Super Bowl and lost, but there is some juice there. Dude, what has Josh Allen ever done? Ever. What has he ever done? Dude, Josh Allen, if he loses this game, is the modern-day Phillip Rivers. And he'll never live it down. 0 for 4 in Super Bowls, and he'll be 0 for 4 versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Guys, this has so much pressure on the Bills to find a way to win this game. It's not even funny. And when the chips fall down in Arrowhead, I am taking Kansas City 1,000 out of 1,000 times. It's only -2. So a Super Bowl a field goal will send them to the Super Bowl, and it will win you money. I think the defenses play really hard here. I like the under. I like the under a lot. And look, you're going to see a lot of guys that the Chiefs brought to Kansas City finally step up. I like DeAndre Hopkins in this game. I like Worthy in this game. I think Mahomes' magic is on full display in this game, and I think the defense will finally make a play. They're going to have to put a spy on Allen. It's going to have Nick Bolton cannot do anything but spy Allen. Leo Chenal, one of those guys, has to follow Josh Allen wherever he goes. You have to stick to this guy like glue. And if they can do that and just slow them down, How did the Chiefs lose this game, Spencer? You've seen this how many times, Spencer? Playoff Pat is different. In his building, not in his building, neutral field, how anyone bets against the Chiefs in these games, to me, is mind-blowing. And yes, will it eventually end? Yeah. Even Brady lost some of these games. Brady lost at home to the Jets. So it does happen. I just don't think it happens this week, guys. I think the league wants the three-peat. The Chiefs want the three-peat. The aggressive nature by Veach, it's been there. Then they're going to go for it. And I think it's going to be the type of thing where somehow, some way, Patrick Mahomes has the ball in his hands last. And when that happens, you know what happens. Chiefs by 3 to go to the Super Bowl, 24-21 in an absolute thriller.
All right, now we have the NFC side of things. It's the kind of matchup you dream about as a kid. You know, when you're a fan of these teams, you get to play your divisional rival in the championship game.
It's going to be a great one.
Man, I don't know what to say about the Commanders at this point, because every week it's like eventually they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to be like, well, I don't know if they're going to win next week. You know, it's like every time they play, you know, like, okay, when is the ride going to end? When is the ride going to end? And they just keep winning over and over and over again. But even with that mentality, I mean, you have a rookie quarterback. I'm saying the same thing I did last week. But it does feel a little bit different. It feels a little bit more like an absolute collapse, a colossal collapse from the Lions than it does about like this amazing Commanders victory, which is not fair to say, let's be honest, because they obviously went on the field and absolutely dominated. I just don't think the Eagles are the same team as the Lions. I just think they're so much better, and that defensive line for the Eagles is really starting to heat up. And the weather conditions were pretty crazy last week. I didn't realize how nuts it was going to be. I may have changed my decision. I mean, I should have looked into it, obviously. But yeah, it was pouring snow in that game, man. It was unbelievable. But Saquon Barkley just seems like he's the best player in the playoffs. As crazy that is to say with the AFC. He's punching himself in the head because he's so excited. No one's near him. Not for 20 yards. He gives up. He'll slide because guys can't catch him. He has to stop himself. And when I think about it like that, especially if it comes down to run versus run in this game, the conditions are crazy or freezing, and you got to run the ball. We already know who's going to win that game, and you don't even have to think about it. He's going to run for 200 yards in this game, I think. So I know the Commanders have had a dream run with a rookie quarterback. I mean, something that you just never, ever, ever see since like Magic Johnson in the Lakers, right? He went to the finals in his rookie season. It's just one of those once in a generation type of runs. And it's obviously, if you're a Commanders fan, this is the best case scenario. I mean, you just never think stuff like this is ever going to happen. And all the credit in the world to him, man. He's playing incredible football. This is going to be, I think it's like a 6-point spread in this game, which seems like a lot, and it seems like you're just telling you to take them. And I know those half points are just so dangerous in the NFL. I'm just not betting against the Eagles. I think that's what it really comes down to. I bet on them last week. Insanity with the 2 extra points missed, right? They had it. They had that game covered.
Won and covered, man. I was so mad.
Just those extra two missed extra points. All you needed was one of them too, but that's why these casinos exist. That's why the house always wins. But I'm still going to take the Eagles in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of people on the Eagles, and I think it's just going to be business per usual with the Eagles, man. They're ready to go back to the Super Bowl. This is a team that has just so much veteran talent and young talent. It's a perfect mix. Jalen Hurts was a full participant. Quinyon Mitchell was a full participant. They're going to have him on Terry and Scary Terry. I don't know. I just think that the Eagles are a much better football team. And when I think about it like that, and I think about how a team that's been to the Super Bowl full of veterans, and I'm obviously the last time that the two sides played each other, it was like a crazy comeback. I can't see that happening again. You're playing in freezing conditions. You're not playing in Washington this time. Give me the Eagles, man. I think that they can win by 10 points. I think this is a 10-point victory for them at least.
I love the Eagles here. I'm going to keep betting against the Commanders.
I know.
I don't care, man. Your luck's going to run out here, man. You're a rookie quarterback going on the road. I know Jayden Daniels has got ice in his veins. I love the guy. But I just don't think there's enough here. I don't care. Zach Ertz, revenge game. Your skills are diminished at 34 years old. You double scary Terry. How are you going to score points and win this game? Austin Eckler is a shell of his former self. And guys, this is not your porous, banged up Detroit Lions. This is not your, middle of the pack Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the Philadelphia Eagles. I just had a conversation with somebody at my job yesterday about Philadelphia and what it is, what it stands for, what it means. Dude, if you're not from there, don't go there. Okay? These are savages. And that D line, man, I think they blow Washington out, man. I do. 31-10, 34-17. Guys, don't get gassed about what you saw last week. That's inclement weather. The weather's not supposed to be snowing. Okay, Jalen Hurts, another week of getting his head right. You can tell he's still not 100%. I just don't see how the Commanders are going to hang with the Eagles here. And the one thing that was a nail in the coffin for me, because I remember it vividly, because me and everybody in my entire World of Matchups Fantasy League chat had the Eagles the day that Jayden Daniels threw 5 touchdowns and beat them at the last second. And, dude, I would have cashed so large that day. I was mad for weeks. Dude, they remember that game. They remember that game. And they're going to take it out on this team, man. They know. Nick Sirianni knows, man. He is playing for his life. And if Nick Sirianni doesn't win the Super Bowl, he's getting fired. Okay? His family knows. His kids know. He's getting fired. There's not that job security, man. They can't stand this guy, so they know they have to win. This is it. And I think that you're seeing Jalen Carter come into his own. Jordan Davis. I know you're losing to Kobe Dean. That's huge. But, you got Blankenship, Dijon, even Slay is playing well. And he wants to play another year, man. Dude, their defense is legitimate. It's stacked. Put a spy on Daniels and call it good, man. Give Saquon Barkley the ball 60,000 times. This is why you brought him to Philadelphia. They can't stop, dude. They are not going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley here. They're not. And I just don't see their defense melting in Philly in the playoffs. The two biggest home field advantages, I believe, in the NFL right now are playing in the postseason. And that's Philadelphia and Kansas City. And I think both teams are going to win. And I think they're going to face each other again. And it's flip a coin. It's flip a coin. The Eagles can easily win the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs can easily win the Super Bowl. But you got to beat the teams that are in front of you right now. And I see this being a resounding Eagles win. Fly, Eagles, fly. The song is getting sang. These guys are going to be throwing bottles, batteries. The fights are going to be in stands. Geno's, Tony Luke's cheesesteaks, all of it. The Rocky statue, guys, all of it. It's going to be on full display. The Kelly Green, guys, look. There's only so far that this Washington Commanders team can go. And I'm here to tell you right now, if the Washington Commanders beat the Philadelphia Eagles here, why can't they win the Super Bowl? Why?
No
this
kidding.
This will be the biggest win in the team's history that wasn't a Super Bowl. Why? I see Slim Reaper going off. I see AJ going off. Everyone's going to go off. If they don't score 30 points in this game, I'll be absolutely shocked. I love the Eagles like I'm an Eagles fan tomorrow. I don't think the Commanders belong on the same field with this Eagles team, man. Don't be gassed by what you saw last week. Detroit's defense is decimated, you guys. Decimated. And they played a picture-perfect offensive game. You think that's happening again? Watch Zach Bond in this game, dude. Watch Jordan Davis in this game. Guys, they are loaded on defense. I think they wrecked the Commanders. 31-14, 37-17. I don't think this game is close, and I think it's over early. Saquon to the moon.
All right. We're down to just 2 games, man. And then the next thing that we'll be talking about is the Super Bowl. Absolutely insane.
I know. I love it. You got some prop bets? I got some prop bets. I got some player props here that I absolutely love, you guys. And if you don't feel like putting money on these games, this is another really good way to make some side money. We'll start with the Kansas City Chiefs. Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals is an absolute lock. How is this not going to happen, bro? Harrison Butker kicks 3 field goals a game in the postseason, and he makes these. To me, that's even money. It's house money you're playing with. You're going to win that easy. I like Xavier. I like Worthy over 5.5 catches. He's the best wide receiver on the Chiefs. He's the fastest guy on the Chiefs. The Bills' defense is a speed defense. How do you combat that? You combat that with speed. Quick hitters, end arounds, flips. Worthy's going to see a lot of action tomorrow. I think he has a big day. I like all his overs, but I definitely like over 5.5 catches. For the Buffalo Bills, I really like Khalil Shakir. He is going to be the Worthy of the Buffalo Bills. He's their speed demon. This guy gets open. Josh Allen trusts this guy. And after the catch, his yards just take off. It's 5.5 catches for him. I like that a lot. This is my sneaky one. This is the one that only Kansas City Chief fans would really understand. And that's Kareem Hunt, over 34.5 yards rushing. He's the better back in Kansas City right now. Pacheco has been back, but he is not right. I don't think he's 100% healthy. The explosiveness is not there. He's the starting running back in name only. When you need the 4th and 1s, when you need the 4th and inches, Kareem Hunt's your guy. It's a second chance at redemption. He'll never have a better opportunity to get a ring. He's 29 years old. He is as fresh as he's ever going to be. This is his time. 34.5 yards is an absolute smash spot for Kareem Hunt. I think he sees a lot more volume than a lot of people are thinking he's going to see. Austin Eckler, over 25.5 receiving yards for the Washington Commanders. Guys, this is an absolute dream situation. They're going to be down. They're going to be down in this game. And the only way to stay in this game is going to be to throw. That defensive line is going to be pressuring JD, and it's just dump-offs all day. He does have great run after the catch ability, and that's pretty much just one big play for Eckler. One big play off a catch, and he's going to cash you there. I really like that. And then my very, very sneaky one, Jalen Hurts, under 33.5 yards rushing. Guys, Jalen Hurts is not right. He's not running like he used to. The fear of getting hurt is still there. I really believe that. If it's not tush push, don't expect to see a whole lot of Jalen Hurts taking off. It's chancy because when the pocket collapses, that's his instinct is to run. The guy is not a great pocket passer, and he's going to do what it takes to win, kind of like Mahomes. In the fourth quarter, Mahomes is running, dude. In overtime, Mahomes is running. It's going to be kind of the same thing here with Hurts. But I do think the Commanders' front four and their defense is going to collapse on Hurts more times than not. And I think those rushing numbers are going to be kept low. This one will pay more. This one will pay more because everyone's expecting him to go crazy. But those are my solid 6 player prop bets from Dexter Reed and World of Matchups.
I have a couple. Just
take
a couple.
it away.
I like Josh Allen to score a rushing touchdown. You can get pretty decent odds on it. I just think that come hell or high water, dude, that guy will do a front flip to get into the end zone. And
Fact.
He just seems like when he plays the Chiefs, it's just like one of those things where they're super tight coverage, and suddenly you look behind you and the guy is like running 20 yards down the field.
It's already scoring.
Or a goal line push, just something like that. I really like that one. And the other one that I really like from the other game is Saquon to score 2+ touchdowns. It just seems like one of those, man, he just seems like he's on another level, man. It just seems like no one can stop him. And he's not going to be the one to stop himself in this game, right? This is a chance to go to the Super Bowl. They'll go up by 30 if they need to. And I just think they're going to give him the ball 30 times. And you give that guy the ball 30 times with that offensive line, he's bound to score twice on those carries, either through a long run, on the goal line. It doesn't matter. There's no one else there, man, because there's no one else you want to give the ball to. It's going to go to him. If it's really cold too, man, they're going to, if they go up like, let's say 20-10, they're just going to keep feeding him, man, over and over again. So I like those two, especially.
I like those two. But if I have to put my money on one thing tomorrow and one thing only, pass my Eagles costume, bro, because I'm suiting up and flying to Philly. I don't know how this game is going to be close like people think it is. This guy is a rookie.
I really like Jalen Hurts under rushing yards.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot, dude. His eggs are scrambled, man. Those kind of concussions. He's got a Tua.
They don't need him to.
Guys, he had a Tua-like concussion.
Yeah.
There's concussions, and then there's Tua. Okay, he had one of those, and I think he is just really starting to get himself back, get his legs back under him. I think that's going to go under a lot. That's the show, guys. World of Matchups, bringing the heat every single week. And listen, guys, after the Super Bowl wrap-up, this does not stop.
It's just beginning.
We take a little hiatus.
I can't wait for the draft, man.
Here comes the draft. Here comes player profiles. Here comes all of it, man. We do not rest. Guys, real ones know that football is 24/7, 365. That's what we do here at World of Matchups. We do not rest. Ball is life, and this weekend's going to be one of the best weekends of the entire year. I wish you guys luck making money. This is my 4-teamer dreamer I sent to Spencer. I put a lot of money on this too, but we're not going to talk about that exact number. But if I feel like something is going to hit in the terms of big time 4-teamers, this will be it. I like the Buffalo Bills +8. This is a 6-point teaser 4 ways, guys. Buffalo Bills +8. Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs under 54.5. That's not hitting. That's not hitting, guys. There's going to be a lot of defense played in this game. Washington Commanders at Philadelphia Eagles under 53. I just don't see Washington scoring a lot of points in this game. I just don't. And then to round out the 4-teamer dreamer, Eagles just have to win.
Yeah.
Guys, how is that not hitting? Yeah. Seriously, like if I don't end up doing the show next week, it's because I'm in the Tahiti. Because this hit. Yeah, me and my wife on a private jet going to like the Bahamas or something. I feel so strongly about this 4-teamer, man. It better roll. You guys enjoy the game. Spencer, thank you as always, man. We look forward to coming back and doing this for you in 2 weeks for Super Bowl Sunday. I guess we're off next week, yeah? Well, we might. If there's some good NFL news, we'll see. We'll see what the NFL news looks like. It's been real busy this week. We get a lot to talk about during the week. We'll come on next week. If not, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for Super Bowl Sunday, which I think will be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Round 2, Rocky versus Apollo style. Until then, my name is Dexter Reed. That's Spencer the Wiz, and we are out.
See you guys.